Yes, people, welcome back to another stream. Hopefully you guys are all well. Please make sure you drop a like on the stream. Make sure you subscribe to the channel as well. This is the second channel, More LB, so just double check that you are subscribed. I've got quite a few people on this panel show tonight. It's going to be a great show. We're going to be speaking everything about the derby, Phil Foden, just how good is he right now, and where does this leave us now in this race for the Premier League? Because we've got two more huge games, and to be honest with you, we should probably add three because Aston Villa is also a really, really tricky game. We're going to be discussing that and much more. Make sure you guys are getting your comments in the live chat. Before we get involved, let's have a look who's in the building tonight. Big up to Herbal, Dave, Subhotzi. Big up to City 9320, Tristan. Good to see Briggs here. Big up to Matthew, Sign Silver, Sam's in the building. Monifo's here. Connor, Presto, Blue Moon, Jess, Brett says, Sammy, Oxen's in the building as well. Big up to LB, Connor, RGS, Joe Shaw, Kristen, Kenny, Mark. Hopefully you guys are all doing well. Please make sure you have dropped a like on the stream and make sure you subscribe to the channel. First guest tonight making his debut on the channel. We have man like Simon. Simon, man, thank you very much for joining me. Simon's the first time he's been on the show. He's a regular watcher of the channel, but he's also been on other shows as well and other podcasts and that. Bro, how you doing, man? You good?
I'm good. A bit tired after the game. It's always an emotional game for me, derby days. So, but I'm good. I'm happy to be here, and I'm looking forward to all we're going to discuss tonight.
Could be a big show. Big up for coming on. Next to enter his way into the arena, it's man like Move.
Hey, all right, lads. All right, good to be here. Nice to meet you, Si. Big up, LB. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Let's do it. Big up to Move. Next in the building, we got man like Nubbins.
Hello. How are we doing?
All right, you all right?
When I'm with you, I'm always all right.
Oh, that's nice, man.
Love that.
That is nice. Next to the building, we have man like Tone. Tone, how we doing, man?
I'm good, mate. I'm always good. And like Robin said there, when you're on, mate, I'm good. All good.
Oh,
Can you feel the love?
Oh yeah.
I can feel it from Tone. I can feel it from Nobbins. These two frauds, Simon and Move, yeah? What's going on here? Just to let you know, guys, as well in the chat, we do have Martin coming. He's just finishing up on Mancunian Way. So as soon as he's finished there, I think he said he's going to finish about 10 past. He'll jump in as well. But the first thing I want to start the conversation with, and this is going to be a free-flowing conversation, guys, is this. Ten Hag said after the game, I think we were really close to winning or getting a draw here. Move, you're laughing. Is he right?
He's waffling. He's waffling. No, it got completely dominated. I know we went down 1-0, but yeah, if you look at the statistics, yeah, I mean it's chalk and cheese, isn't it? I don't know if that's the
Not even
right term,
close.
but it's they got played off the park. They got a worldie of a goal from Rashford. Foden said, "I see you, worldie. Here's one for you." And then after that, basically after the two Mancunians exchanged worldies, it was the match that I expected it to be. Complete domination.
What is he actually waffling about, man? Like, what's he talking about? How is it close?
He's just in denial. He's seen how good our manager is. He's trying to be a bold fraud, but the gimmick isn't working for him. And you can only be like this if you can back it up with accolades and trophies. And he says this, I'm sure he said something similar after the Fulham game as well, when he got peppered at home 2-1. And he was like, oh, we played really well. I'm proud of the lads. So shut up, man. You don't, it's just embarrassing at this point. And it's like we have our eyes. We're all watching the same game. You're not going to fool us. The only people who's going to fool are the people on FootMob and SofaScore who don't actually watch the game and go, oh, Rashford dropped an 8.3, so he played well. This is the world this guy's living in.
I heard his interview after the game. So he thinks it's close because of the two actions we had with Walker and Rashford, and then the Ederson clearance, where he thinks that both of them should have been a foul on Rashford and a penalty on Garnacho, which I think everyone who's watched football for more than 10 years would say that's never a foul on either. And then that's where he comes from. He says it's close. He does go on to say that we're still the best team in the world, so a bit of recognition, but mostly waffling.
We're there. Sorry, we are the best team in the world, but yeah, he still thinks they're probably a little better. I don't know where he's got that it was close. I guess in terms of scoreline, 2-1 in around the 90th minute, whenever it was, perhaps. But anyone watching that game knows it wasn't close in any aspect.
Well, look at the stats, Tone. I mean, we absolutely dominated. And listen, this is going to be really interesting to say, because I've seen people having different opinions on it. I didn't even think we played that well. I thought we played all right, and I'm interested to hear your takes on this. I thought we played okay. We're always going to dominate the ball, whether we play good or whether we play bad. We're always going to dominate the ball most of the time because that's the type of players we have. But I didn't even think we played that well. We still scored 3 goals. Do you know what I mean? And obviously Haaland missed one, Foden missed one. You know what I mean? So it could have been even worse, Tone. But we absolutely dominated them from start to finish. And the only real chances that they had were the standard ball behind our defense because we pushed so high up, Tone. And you know, that was it. They didn't create any chances of breaking us down or anything like that.
It was basically sit there and just try and hold back and try and pinch anything they could. I mean, it's not like we're playing Sheffield United at home. That's what it feels like. And it is shocking, you know, for the amount of, I know people talk about money and I do often on here, but the amount of money they've spent and the team and all that sort of thing. And we're Manchester United, we're this, that and the other. And the way they come to our place, teams like Crystal Palace give us a better game than Man United. In fact, pretty much everybody does. Look at
the state of this. Yeah. This is their average positions. I don't know about you guys, yeah. I have never, ever, ever seen Manchester United play like that against us ever. My lifetime. No. Now, under Ollie, they played semi-defensive. Yeah, I get that, but not as defensive as they were today. They were just absolutely ridiculous. And you know what? Credit to City because it could have got real frustrating, but you know, ultimately, the players stuck there. You know what I mean? Did their job, and you know, some of our finishing at times was poor, but we kept on going. We kept on going, and eventually. Yeah, I mean, 3-1. I think that just like last year when we beat him 6-3, I think 3-1. I think it flatters them, man.
Yeah,
I agree. It did, definitely.
I think it flatters
100%. Us. It didn't feel like a derby at times. Normally, these are very competitive games. Even when we've had obviously a much better team than them, and Pep's record in Manchester derbies at home is actually quite poor. They normally do give us a decent game, even if we've got supremely better players. But yeah, I mean, it was like just watching Tony Pulis's Stoke at times. It was unbelievable how deep their starting positions were. And then and there's nothing necessarily wrong with that, but then you've got to counter well and get out of our press well. And the amount of times like Rashford in particular would get the ball and just run it out of play under very little pressure. It was a very low quality game from the United players. They didn't really have anything to them. They didn't have any ideas other than, try to get Rashford in behind Ake. But outside of that, it was, if I was a United fan, I'd be fuming. I thought it was embarrassing, quite frankly.
In the second half, the only shot was in the 96th minute or something.
Wow.
It was like a
Only shot in the
Casemiro
second
header,
half. Yeah. And so if you like, in the first half, I actually thought when we think about chance creation, we did much better than in the second half. But in the second half, all the way up to that Casemiro header, I've never seen on a stats tool 0-0-0 on every single like line on the app, 0.00 on every offensive like a parameter of how where you can see stats. That was crazy. That's domination, and you can't say that you're close to winning a game where you do nothing. Had nothing in the second half, and we didn't create that many chances in the second half compared to the first half, but domination wise it was a complete domination.
To be fair, our press was really good. I mean, the intensity we brought was
Foden was really good at pressing.
Yeah,
today.
it was much higher
Wow.
than theirs.
Wow.
And they defended well, but they defended with 8-9 men at times. I don't know if I agree with you, LB. I think they've been that defensive for near a decade, man. I mean, I think who their most progressive man.
Second half though, they were so deep, man.
Yeah. I don't know. Who's been their most progressive manager since Fergie? Almost feels like Moisey.
Yeah, it is wild. Let me ask you guys about the first half, because of course the first half, we're in a half time losing to a pretty sick strike. To be fair, like what can you do? Like it's a pretty mad one. A couple of questions I've got, and a couple of talking points on the first half is to do with the goal. Some criticism on Kyle Walker from some people, including myself. I think that like he's jogging back, he's put his hand in, he's waiting for the offside. I think if he plays to the whistle, he's looking around him to see the danger, which I think any right back should be doing in that position. He sees Rashford, he might get sort of a blocking or whatever. And secondly, like, how do you feel that impacted us? Because I actually thought up until the Rashford goal, I thought we was well on top, and then I felt like the Rashford goal, I felt like it rattled us a little bit, and we started to lose our flow a little bit. But I still felt it was good. But I don't know. Like, Tone, I'll come to you on this one. What did you make on those points?
Yeah, I thought we played really well first half, to be honest. I know we were 1 down. I thought we started the game great, as I thought we would. High intensity, a couple of chances early on, and agree with Walker, who I think we all know here. He's a good player, good professional, been a brilliant signing for us. But he has this tendency to switch off. And I've noticed him putting his hand up, asking for the offside, as players pass him down the sideline in other games, which to me is frankly bizarre. I can't remember which game it was recently. He's got his hand up and the player's literally running past him. So go after him. If it's flagged, they'll catch it. But yeah, I thought we played really well first half. I thought we were really good first half, and I thought we were really good second half. I thought we were very, very good from the offset. It's just like you said, scored a screamer. Brilliant goal from Rashford, who was otherwise awful. To be honest, he's terrible, Rashford. But yeah, no issues at all. Thought we played well. Everyone worked hard, and yeah. I was happy with everyone really. Ake did switch off a bit. Sorry, just to add, for the goal, because he dropped back because he got skinned just before that, and he just held back a bit and kept. Who was it on the? Was it Bruno or somebody on the other side? He kept somebody on side, I think. So Ake switched off a bit as well. So it's not just Walker, but yeah. Other than that, we're brilliant. I thought
the arms in the air after a goal, it winds me up. It's pathetic. No matter who does it, City or whoever. Just when you've played a stupid. You let somebody in behind you for being stupid. Just back up 10 yards when the goalkeeper's got it. It's all you got to do. And they learned it after that one incident. But just putting your arms up and begging, for somebody to let you off the hook. It winds me up to no end.
Also,
Yeah,
is it going to be quicker for someone to run with their hand in the air or to run with a normal motion? So when that's like a massive pet peeve of mine, when defenders put their hand up in the air as they're tracking back.
Yeah.
If it's offside, don't you putting your hand in the air will not influence the linesman's decision. So it's not all it's doing is limiting you as a runner and actually making it, limiting you from actually getting back.
Walker learned his lesson, though. He caught Rashford. Was it Rashford or Garnacho the next time?
Rashford.
Yeah, he caught him that time, thank God.
Overall, I thought Walker played well overall, to be fair.
He did have a good game.
Yeah, he did.
I think he was probably in the side because he knew the pace of Rashford was going to be a threat, so I'm totally fine with him starting. And I'm not going to be too harsh on their goal because at the end of the day, it was just like a very low probability effort. How
it was a 6 strike, to be fair.
No, yes, it's an amazing goal.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what the XG on that would have been. Probably like,
0.03.
Well, there you go. So it's got like a 3% chance of going in. So 97 times out of 100, that doesn't go in, for example. So, we can analyze the individual defending, but at the end of the day, it's just a very good finish, to be fair. I actually thought we were better in the first half, I know that we scored more goals in the second.
The stats say that 100%. We had 18 shots in the first half.
That's mental.
And that's crazy. Go on, sorry.
XG on 2.73 or something, where we scored 0 goals, and then in the second half we had a XG of like, I don't know, 0.6 or something, and we scored 3 goals. So that can be the difference. But I think we need to see that more from City. Like a theme this season has been us underperforming our XG and our opponents overperforming their XG, and that's that's bad going forward for the matches we look into. But I do think as long as we create this amount of chances, it's just about getting the boots on the right foot. I mean, the Haaland miss itself is like, I don't know, 0.9 XG or something. That was insane.
That could be good going forward, though. If things revert to the mean, that could be good.
Exactly. That it's a positive that we create all those chances. We just have to tweak it.
I wouldn't bet on Erling Haaland staying that cold for the rest of the season.
No. I've been saying a little while, actually, on with you, LB, that I'd be more concerned if we weren't creating chances. The goals will come. Someone is going to get absolutely levered soon. Hopefully Liverpool, but probably more likely someone else.
It does feel a big up to Martin, by the way. A big up to everyone that's come over from the Mancunian way on the raid. Before I come on to that point, Martin, you was at the game. What was the atmosphere like in the stadium at half time? Because we just spoke about the stats. I mean, the first half stats were really, really high in favour of Manchester City. We had a couple of chances with Haaland. Foden both should have scored, but we found ourselves losing the game 1-0. Like, what was your views on it? What was the atmosphere like in the stadium at that point?
It was still positive. There was a lot of. It felt like a little bit of an inevitability of the ball was just going to go in the net. Really, it was one of them. We felt we're going to score, and there was also that once we score 1, 2 and 3 are going after it.
Mm-hmm.
It was just the way United was set up. United set up perfectly in their fashion of score the goal and then don't move. Low block out. And that's what they did. And even their goal, which is rings to repeat of nearly 90% of our goals at home at the moment. But the simple fact is, it was still a blue wave coming at them from minute 1. We basically put our foot on the throat, and other than poor finishing, and some decent saves and a little bit of, Foden. My biggest criticism, maybe like the first one, trying to go round on Arna rather than just hit the damn thing, put your laces through it and whack it. But we've got to do this. Let's do the fashion, go round him and try and be the clever one with it. And like the Haaland one, the miss. It's like we just said it on ours. It was like, he should have done, I think Rich said it, he should have done a Mario Balotelli and got it off his shoulder or his backside or something, and it had gone in. It was like, he tried to header it too perfect from yard out. And sometimes you just go in any part of your body and it's in.
Yeah. You could just hit it in.
Weird. It was a weird. There was still that air of confidence. Everyone was like up for it and ready. You know me. I told you in the chat I was buzzing. I thought we played really well first half. I didn't get sadly, at the moment, if we're not 4 up by half time, there's a meltdown everywhere. I don't know why.
That's because you tell everyone.
I don't get it.
That's because you tell everyone we're going to be 4-0 up, bro.
At the end, I don't come on and say we're 4 up at half time.
Nah, crazy.
Thomas putting it on Twitter, like, what? We're not even playing, man. What's everyone saying? I don't get it.
It's true. We played really well, but I think you always get people who react to purely the scoreline. You know, I think anyone who watched the game pretty much will say we played well first half, but you're always going to get some, aren't you, who kick off.
That's the issue with like results-based analysis.
Yeah.
Also, like the issue with like goal bias as well. Like people will, we discussed before, see that Rashford scored a goal, say he had a good game, when in reality, after that goal, he was largely irrelevant and actually was probably a net negative. You could say he was like the reason why, because when he fell over, you know, when Walker tapped him on the shoulder and he fell over, that led to our goal. So you could say it's largely Rashford's fault that we actually scored that goal. He was just poor throughout, and totally agree.
He's got some balls to come out with that comment midweek and then throw that performance in.
I know, but he'll get away with it because of the.
He will.
Goal. That's the thing. I knew Rashford was scoring today. That's what my mate said. There's one thing for certain today: Rashford will score because you know he's obviously come out with those comments. I want to turn our attention to the second half before we start looking at individual performances and where we're at now with the season. Big up to Nariman for the super chat. Says Walter Philip Foden. Says Nariman with the super chat. He's just unreal. Mohammed says great win. Would you lot start Doku against Liverpool? I wouldn't personally. I'd start Nunes.
He's out of form, isn't he?
What about Foden on the left and then Kovacic in the middle against Liverpool for the extra security?
Maybe.
I wouldn't go Nunes for that game either.
Yeah, that's also a shout. But listen, we spoke about it a lot during this week's build up, and I'm sure everyone has on their shows, like about who should play left wing. And I was Nunes all week, and then obviously I changed my mind because Judge Mo convinced me. And I think what he said was right, but he wasn't executed on the football pitch. So listen, I still think Doku's got loads to give this club, but he's still so young, and I think he needs time. The problem is we don't have time right now in the Premier League. So Champions League against Copenhagen, starting there, and then off the bench for the rest of the season, and then next year we probably go again. Big up to Omar, says great game management by Pep Guardiola. Alvarez, fantastic. Alvarez actually thought he did quite well when he come on.
Very good.
Very well at the moment.
Yeah,
but he played quite well, which is nice to see. Yeah. And big up to Jordan as well with a 5. Says never felt more like singing the blues. Let's go. No JD and Coke for me tonight, though. Yeah, it's a Sunday, bro. You know what I mean? It's a Sunday.
Treat yourself, though. Treat yourself.
School night.
Have one.
It's a school night. Let's turn our attention to the second half then, lads. Obviously, we're going out there. We need a goal. My biggest worry was, because I was always of the opinion, a bit like Martin was saying then, I was always of the opinion that we were going to score. My worry was, the longer the game goes on, the more we're going to push up even more. And are we going to get caught on the break? Luckily, didn't have to wait too long. Phil Foden popped up in the 56-minute Nobbins. I mean, what a strike it was, man.
Yeah, it was glorious. We've seen it from Phil before, like where he like cuts inside and then just launches one with his left foot, like we saw against Everton this season. We've seen it against Dortmund in the past. It's happened numerous times now, and it's what he needed to do, because as much as I liked us in the first half, I wasn't a huge fan of Foden's performance in the first half, because too many times he went down to the touchline and tried to take on Lindelof that way. But he just needed to realise actually he's up against a very immobile centre back who, if you cut inside on him, he's probably not going to be able to track you. That's exactly what he did. Lindelof couldn't get close to him, and then he's got that ball striking ability to just absolutely launch it. So he was like, he saw Rashford's world. He was like, right, I'll raise you. And it was just, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And it was exactly what we needed, because at that moment, I don't think we created that much in the second half up until the goal. Anyway, I can't remember anything that stands out. It did seem like it was going to be one of those days, where again we dominate, we deserve to win, but we're not going to get the win. We needed something miraculous to unlock United and get the confidence back. And up steps, in my opinion, our best player this season, who's becoming a game breaker in his own right. And yeah, it was just like, as exactly what we needed, and just a perfect strike and beautiful. And yeah, love it.
Yeah, I was getting worried because Kevin was ghosting a bit, and
Yeah.
then Phil Foden came in and scored a Kevin-esque goal,
Yeah.
or even maybe I say Mahrez, cutting in like that, and just banging it far post. Brilliant goal.
And that's what he's had to be this season. He's had to replace De Bruyne, hasn't he, in his absence, and that's exactly what he's done, and then some.
People always talk about like when they talk about City, talk about Haaland, Kevin. Foden, with his performance this season, is pushing him into that conversation. So when it's City, it's Foden, Haaland, Kevin De Bruyne. Because today, as Nabin said, Kevin and Haaland did ghost. Like Haaland didn't ghost, but he didn't hit the target as he should. And Foden steps up. He's clutch again for I don't know how many times this season. So he might not think he's world class yet, as he said a few days ago, but keep doing this, and then by the end of the season, if we go on to do something historic, he would definitely be pushed into that category, I think.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I think he's just got a belter of a shot on him from like 20, 25 yards. And I think I don't know whether it's, I never know, is it under instruction? Because remember, like the Wenger days when Arsenal wanted to score that perfect goal, like 500 passes in the box and tap it in, and you think, I know we want to do that, but I'm like the one in the first half, thought he was just trying to be a little bit too cute with it.
Yeah.
And it's like against Brentford, it was just instinctive, bang, 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 goal. Today, bang. He's got it in him. And I think it's sometimes dragging. We all think he's world class. I'm just not sure sometimes does Phil think he's world class. And maybe, I don't know if it's a I think he's going to get there in his own head. And I think he is world class.
I think for me to be world class, you've got to have a bit of an ego about it, yeah, because you got to own it. You got to do stuff where people are like, "No way, has he just done that?" And it's about having the confidence to do that. And one of the problems that he's had in the City team is that whenever he's been in the City team, there's been better players on the pitch. You know what I mean? Like David Silva, like Kevin De Bruyne, like Ilkay Gundogan. Even like maybe like when Sane and Sterling were there on form, and he was just breaking into the team. So, like, to do the world-class stuff, maybe he felt like, oh, I've just got to play the simple thing, or I've got, this and that. Whereas now, those players are not here anymore. David's gone. Gundogan's gone. Kevin De Bruyne is not going to be here forever, and there's going to be some games where he's just not at the races because he's 33 years old, and he's had a fucking 8-inch cut down his leg to stitch up his hamstring. So now we're looking at Foden, not as this guy to come on and, look at this guy, an academy graduate. He's going to be, no. We're looking at him now. You got to win us matches. You're not just this guy anymore who can just like come in and do a little bit here and just look mint, and we all go home and says, oh, this guy from Stockport, he's playing sick. No. You are the guy now that we are looking at to do it. And I think that you're really starting to see Phil Foden take on that responsibility. You're seeing him now tell players where to go. You know what I mean? Kevin De Bruyne almost got moved onto the wing towards the end, and Phil Foden went in the middle, and he was dictating the play. So I just think it's just took time, not because of him or anything like that, just because we've had players that are better than him. Now he's that guy,
100%.
And that's why it's also important to get him into those more central areas, because he can't ever be that guy if he's being asked to hold the width out wide and never really cut inside or never drift in to the centre or start from the centre. And we saw that, for the second goal, he sort of is technically moved to the left wing, Bernardo right wing, but actually his starting position's more central, and he picks up the ball there and he drives forward. It was like very Jack Grealish the way he picked it up, and as I said, just drove through the centre. And if he's allowed to do that continually over and over again, then it's just going to feed into better performances and better results and better output and probably more confidence for him. And he will get the vibe of, I am that guy, actually. And, like De Bruyne is getting on a bit. I'm going to take his mantle and I'm going to bear that torch now. And I'm going to be the main lad at City. So we see
one of the main guys.
And I think that's good that he has something to strive for. He still doesn't believe, from what I've seen and what he said, that he is at that level, which to me is a good thing. Because my God, if he's got more levels to go up, I mean, how good's this boy going to be? He's frightening,
Well,
absolutely frightening.
These are his numbers so far in this season. I know football's not just about G&A, but it's the easiest way to sort of look at someone when you're doing a quick show. He's played 40 games in this season. He's got 18 goals in all competitions. That includes 11 in the Premier League. And he's also got 10 assists as well. Now, me personally, I think that Foden should be aiming for 20 goals, 20 assists a season minimum. I say that because I think he's got the ability. I think he's clearly got the shooting ability to do it. You know what I mean? He's creative enough. And I think as he gets put into those central positions more and more, I expect those assists to go up as well. He's currently on 18 and 10. So he's gonna get 25, maybe 26 goals minimum. You'd expect that. So only like 6 to 8 goals more. He might get another 5, 6 assists. So he's going to have a great season. Pep Guardiola's saying that he's been our best player this year. I agree with Pep. I think Foden's been our best player this year. And I think there's a case that he might have been the best player in the Premier League this year as well.
Yeah, I agree. I might throw Rodri in that conversation as well as one of, if not our best player. Also today, I think he was exceptional. And 2 assists again. We're talking about stats for Foden. I think Rodri has like 6 goals and 5 assists or something in the Premier League. And that's as a defensive midfielder, which is just insane. So I definitely think there's a shout for Foden to be the player of the season, but so much depends on the last 11 games and the last few months. Both what we will accomplish, but also if he can keep up the level he's showing right now, because what he's showing right now is that performances are world class. So if he can keep those up, definitely I think he will be in there for a shout.
It depends who's voted for it, because if it's the same people who don't vote Kevin De Bruyne a single player of the month, then he could be cooked, which is, I mean, it's ludicrous, isn't it?
Yeah. Never
There's
won.
one rule: if they play in blue, forget it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but what does it say? What does it say about City though, and Phil Foden, that we're saying that he's now our best player? I mean, I know Si rightly pointed out Rodri, by the way. He's obviously a shout for Player of the Year, but like when we're speaking about Foden being nominated as potential Player of the Year, and for me, so far he's the Player of the Year for me. I think he's been the most consistent across the season, although Rodri is right up there. Like, how many more like levels does this guy got to his game? You know what I mean?
Well, I think I'm with what Tone said earlier about it's not a bad thing if he doesn't think he's world class quite yet, because you don't want this bloke peaking at 23, right?
Yeah.
Is he 23? Have I got that right?
Yeah, so young.
So if he thinks he's just shy of it, that's good for City, I think. So no, I think he's been our best player. I mean, Rodri is Rodri's a joke, man, of a player. You just can't get that. Did you see McTominay trying to get the ball off him? And he just get off me. He's like, for me, he's like the Beatles. Like there's the best band in music history, and then there's everybody else, and Rodri's that. So yeah. But other than Rodri, Foden's fantastic. I mean, a lot of goals and assists left the club with Gundogan, I guess, and Mahrez, yeah. And somebody had to step up. It was Alvarez there for a while, and Foden has caught Alvarez and now passed him, I think, in goals and assists. And yeah, he's definitely in the mix for City's Player of the Season, probably number 1 at the moment, and then Player of the Season in the Prem. He's probably in the top 3 for sure. Brilliant.
Yeah, he's absolutely cooking. On Rodri, by the way. You all know I love the Rodri yellow card check.
Yeah.
He's now gone, I think, 6 games in a row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, no, 7. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 7 games in a row without a yellow card.
Wow.
He had that talk off Pep, didn't he? Pep sat him down in a dark room and said, right,
chill out.
Yeah.
Like normally he doesn't get any yellows. This has just been a freak season where he had so many head losses, and so it's not fouls where he has gotten the yellows, just head losses. So yeah. I'm pretty secure that he won't hit 10 before the reset in game week 32. So
well, I think the game week 32 is Palace, and that's after Villa. So I think there's only one game that he has to go without potentially swerving it. But yeah, he was fantastic as well today. Rodri, he's such a good player, man. Like the way he moves the ball, the way he drives forward with it. There's literally not a single weakness I see in this guy's game. You know what I mean? Like his little Pirlo balls to the right wing to usually to Walker, who then cuts it back, or he can shoot, he can assist. Like 2 assists today.
Yeah,
I didn't even realize. Yeah, I didn't even realize the guy got him.
Crazy.
Yeah, his diagonals are crazy.
It's crazy.
He's so good that he gets overlooked sometimes because he's always so good. When people go man of the match, sometimes they look at Foden spectacular, and he was today. But Rodri's just the worst Rodri plays is 8 out of 10.
Yeah,
that's the level he's at.
Yeah.
And Marco's spot on. Try and get the ball off the guy. Fernandez tried it, and Fernandez sort of threw his arms up a little bit trying to get the ball off of him. He's so good, and we're very, very lucky to have him. And he's still young, isn't he? Isn't he 25 or something?
27.
Oh, is he 27? Oh, okay, a bit older
then. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. Listen, I want to talk about where we're at now with the title. We're obviously a point behind. Before we move on to sort of the more generic title talk, anyone want to say anything else about the game today? Are we cool to move on to the title talk?
I'll quickly say I thought Ake was, bar the little switch off of the goal. I thought Ake yet again, and he's also up there for one of our best players of the season. Maybe not right up there, but he's in the conversation. He's just consistent every game. And remember, he's being played mainly out of his natural position. Just brilliant player. So I just wanted to say
Ake's unbelievable. He's unbelievable, and Gvardio's had that left-sided spot all season. Yeah. And it wouldn't surprise me if, maybe not against Liverpool and Arsenal, but when we get back after that to the Premier League, it wouldn't surprise me if Gvardio went back in. But for Champions League, yeah, you have to be playing Ake left back. You simply cannot play Gvardio left back when you've got someone like Ake who's just so consistent. Let's move on to the title talk. In fact, before we do, big up to Ben Lesme, I think it is. It says, the way Rodri's playing this season, wow. If I'm Rodri, I'm boxing Pep's head off because the way he's carried this midfield with no support a lot of times. Well, that's the thing, isn't it? The big, and actually, I've said this before, but Rodri being so good at times can actually be a bit of a problem because the drop-off when he's not there is crazy, that we just look like a completely different team. He's almost too good where you can't just drop him now and again because I'm putting a replacement DM because, again, the drop-off's so mad. So you kind of just have to keep playing him. What City do in the summer will be interesting. I'd love to see Kimmich come in. I think Kimmich could be a fantastic option for us. Whether or not Kimmich would come in, because obviously we would play him in multiple positions. He'd almost become a bit of a utility player. I don't know, but if we can get Kimmich in for like 50 mil, which I just think would be a bargain, because obviously he's only got a year left on his contract, that would be superb. He effectively can do what Gundogan does. But yeah, listen, I think for me, that's the biggest issue the board need to sort out this summer, is what do they do when Rodri's not there? You can't carry this on forever, because at some point you are going to run him into the ground. And big up to, is it Sankull says, we all know Rodri gets a yellow at corrupt field. Well, let's see what happens next week. Big up for the donation. Right, this is the table, lads. So Liverpool obviously getting that late goal yesterday, which was a killer. 63 points, 1 point ahead of City. Take a look at the goal difference, by the way, as well. I guess we did get that extra goal today to close it a little bit, but we're still lagging there. And obviously Arsenal play tomorrow. I mean, that's going to be scary. That's going to be a scary result at Sheffield United. And I actually think that the goal difference between City and Arsenal might be ended tomorrow. Because if they get like 5 or 6, I don't see us personally catching that up in 11 games. Nobbins, confident? Are we confident about this now? What's your thoughts? Because for me personally, just so you guys on the panel all know where I'm at, I think we need to win at Anfield personally, because I don't see who beats Liverpool. I've looked at Liverpool's fixtures. I don't see who beats them. I don't even see who gets a draw against them. The only one is Aston Villa, second to last game of the season. Hence why I think we need to beat Liverpool. That's my personal view.
Notts Forest almost got a draw off them yesterday.
Yeah.
But here's the thing on my point of view here, Mulv, is they played yesterday without Mohamed Salah. Yeah. Mohamed Salah's now back. Zoboszlai come off the bench. He's now back. And I just feel that, honestly, man, if I looked at their fixtures, bro, and I'm just like, I just don't see who even gets a point other than maybe Villa. That's why I think that as well. And I just think if you're hunting down a team above you, you need to take points off them. So that's where I'm at. But Dobbins, what's your thoughts? Do you think that we need to beat Liverpool? Are you maybe with Moore where draw's okay? Like, what's your thoughts?
It's annoying because, and this is why the Chelsea result was so annoying, because had we just won that game, then this wouldn't really be an issue. We could go to Anfield and afford to draw. But we've shafted ourselves a little bit there. Liverpool don't have the easiest fixtures. You know, they still have to go away to Everton. Everton usually play well against Liverpool, to be fair. I know we'll laugh, but they do still have to go to Old Trafford. Again, I know United are United, but you never know. United did us a favour a few years ago, to be fair. Was it in the 18-19 season where they took a point? They took a couple points off them. So you never know. I think they have to play Spurs as well. So look, in theory, there are a couple of potential slip-ups. However, I think I'm probably with you that I'm sort of more getting along the lines of we probably do need to win at Anfield, because if we normally in these situations, we're ahead of Liverpool. Normally, Liverpool come to us, the Etihad, and they either lose or draw. And then from there, we win the title because Liverpool failed to win. So if we're the Liverpool in this situation where we're hunting down top spots, history tells us that it's not enough to draw at the Etihad for Liverpool or, at Anfield for us in this scenario. We've also got to account for the fact that are we ever going to get a better chance to beat Liverpool with no Alisson and with no Trent? And also seemingly now, it appears like we have clicked. Like the performances in recent games have been much better compared to, even just like a few weeks ago. We're actually now starting to see the treble-winning players consistently used in the treble-winning system with Stones being reintroduced. So we don't have good history of winning at Anfield, but we just might have to do it. History's that records are there to be broken, and history's there to be made. And again, are we going to have a better chance given our current form and given Liverpool's injury situation? I don't know. I do think we need to go and think about a draw not being enough. I think we actually might need to win, which is a terrifying thought, obviously.
Tom, what are you saying?
No, I don't think we have to win. I think if we draw, just looking at it today, obviously without knowing how we play and all that sort of thing, I think a draw's fine. I was looking at Liverpool's fixtures just now as well, and like you say, United away. I think they've got Spurs at home. That might be tricky. West Ham away, Everton away. You're also playing teams down near the bottom that people write off, and Arsenal did it last year. Oh, they've only got Forest away. They've won that. That's 3 points. Well, they lost that. You always get them games towards the end when you've been in Europe, in Liverpool's case on a Thursday. And then you've got to go against Sunday and all this sort of thing. So I don't think a draw is the end of the world by any means. That's just a point off with, sorry, did he say 10 games to go or what have you? I would still fancy us. Well, to be fair, Liverpool certainly capable of going on a run, as we've seen, but we are most certainly capable of going on a run between now and the end. Whatever happens at Liverpool, we are capable of winning out. And I still think Liverpool have got... I think they'll drop points. It may be more in hope and delusion, but like Mole said, they only just won yesterday at Forest, and I didn't see the game, but what I was told was they were very lucky to have won that game. And they've been sort of trickling along a little bit in a couple of games. So, I think they've got a fairly tough fixture list, to be honest, when I had a look at, as have we. But, I think a draw's fine, to be honest. I don't think it's too bad.
Points will be dropped, to be fair. Like, we won't be perfect. Arsenal won't be perfect. Liverpool won't be perfect. I think people think that it's easy to go in these runs of, winning like 10, 11, 12, 13 plus games in a row. But very few teams have done that. It was when we were at our best, in stuff like the Centurion season. And then when Klopp's Liverpool were at their best in their title winning season, it is very hard to win however many games in a row. So you'd expect there to be slight slip up somewhere. It's just my fear is more a case of sure, they will drop points, but will they drop more points than us? I guess that's the only question, because I think everyone will drop points somewhere.
Well,
I
that's
just don't know
sort of where I that's where I'm at though. Nobbins is like when I look at the fixture and I've combined the Liverpool fixtures with the City fixtures. I agree. I think we're both going to drop points. I just think we've got some really difficult games. You know, after Liverpool, we've got to play Arsenal. They're flying at the moment, yeah, in the league. Then we've got to play Villa. Still got to go to Spurs. Do you know what I mean? This is why I'm kind of like, I think we need to beat Liverpool at Anfield. And actually, you know, just to disclose, I think we will. I know it might be, some people might think that's crazy, given the fact we've only won once there in the last 20 years or whatever. I think we will win there. I think this team is ready. And actually, I think this team, low-key, kind of knows that they need to win at Anfield. Because I think they're looking at the fixtures coming up and saying, shit, we got a difficult run. And looking at Liverpool and thinking, if Liverpool get anything from this game, you know, I just don't think you want to put yourself into that position. But Move, let me come back to you, man, because you were saying that you don't, you know, a draw. Well, I don't know what you actually said. I can't remember now. But like you said, you don't need to win.
Wasn't listening. That's disrespectful.
I don't think I actually said anything. I might have just shook my head or something.
That's exactly what you did. What's your thoughts then in and around this Liverpool game? Because there's no doubt that if we win this game, we're all going to be flying, aren't we?
No, I think we can absolutely beat them. We're playing better than them for sure. And I think we should go and try and beat them. I don't think we need to play it safe or anything. I do feel like they're a lot better at doing what United did to us today, how they scored. Liverpool are much better at doing that. So we need to tighten up back there. But I think I know Arsenal are playing well, but I think we've got the experience and the players to go on the run that those other two won't be able to. So, and I think it'll be a shock when Liverpool drop points. I think they'll drop points to teams you don't expect them to. I think you mentioned the teams that maybe are struggling down at the bottom, or maybe I don't think they break down low blocks as well as we do. So yeah, I'm confident. I think if we beat them, I think their heads might go.
Yeah,
I do. I think a draw is kind of okay. Both camps will be relatively happy with that. But I think if we beat them at Anfield, that their heads will go.
I agree. Yeah.
Interesting. I want to touch on Jack Grealish in a second because there's a really good comment in the chat. Big up to LB says Liverpool have been riding their luck for a while. Says LB 1998 with the super chat. Well, last night, mate, was horrific.
I don't get the hype. Sorry, I'm not getting it. Go through their game. They have been looking out for about 4 games on the bounce.
Yeah.
But they also had so many injuries. I mean,
no, they have. But the point is that you go even the League Cup final when Klopp kids came out. A better team than Chelsea finishes them in 90 minutes. Yesterday, Forest were having one-on-ones. Go back to Luton Town at Anfield. That result flattered their performance. Luton Town went 1-0 up and then sort of got stage fright and didn't know what to do at that point.
So did Burnley. Burnley could have got.
Yeah, they were like 1 up and went, oh, hang on, this wasn't in the script. And that's no disrespect on the Liverpool situation. Liverpool are doing very well, but I don't get this fear factor. Honestly, I'm with Mo. We go to Anfield and we play the way we can. I think there's one winner out of it.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think the fear factor, and I promise, LB, I won't go with conspiracy and start putting my tinfoil on and stuff. The officials frighten me far more than Liverpool's team, Klopp, anyone else, and the crowd and all that nonsense. The officials bug me more at Anfield, and honestly, I'm on the edge waiting for them to do something ridiculous in that game that we always happens at Anfield. I will stop there with the conspiracy. Sorry.
The only thing I'd say on your point there, Martin, is at what point do these lucky wins just become they're grinding out results? Because you can say that, but at the end of the day, they're getting through it and they're getting the wins.
No, I agree, and I totally agree with you. But I think we're a different prospect. Us, because let's be straight, we are on an 18 out of 20 match, unbeaten run right now. We have not lost the game since December the 6th. That is not our fluke. And that was when we were grinding out the 1-0s. And like Nobby said, over the last 2 or 3 games, we've suddenly clicked and mojo. It does coincide. Pep made a comment, I think it was last week. Like I said to you, playtime's over now.
Mm-hmm.
So it's over now. I think like the 11 you saw today, maybe Bardoku, I think will be the 11 you'll generally see now in the Premier League for most of the rest of the season.
Yeah.
And the rest are just going to have to deal with it now, I'm afraid.
Yeah.
I think when he respects the team, it'll be Kovacic instead of Doku. When he doesn't, it'll be Doku instead of Kovacic.
Yeah, it's like I think over the next few weeks we're going to be able to name like 9 or 10 of the 11.
Yeah.
And then you're going to be choosing between 1 or 2. And that's my thing. And that's, listen, I think we're in for one hell of a title race between the 3. I still think someone will drop out, whoever that is, by April, May time. I don't know yet. Because that, I think us playing Arsenal at the Emirates will be different. Because if we beat Arsenal at the Etihad, I think that could be Arsenal out of it. Because then we're 4 clear with them.
Yeah.
They don't play each other, do they?
No.
No, and Arsenal still got the North London. They've got to go to Old Trafford, even though United are crap, as we saw today.
Yeah, let's stop saying this about Old Trafford, man. That team is.
They don't do well historically at Old Trafford.
I think that's United's last home game as well, isn't it, of the season, I think?
Oh, is it?
Yeah, second last. Yeah, second last. Yeah, that's right.
Wow.
Second
That's
last.
huge.
And like Tom said, you get weird results at this stage of the season. Very weird results.
Yeah, and you've also got to factor in Europe, which is why I want Arsenal to beat Porto, because I know they're 1 down. Keep them in the Champ League, keep them busy, have them playing Wednesday, back on Saturday, having to win game. Arsenal cannot slip up. Their reputation is they'll bottle it. Liverpool less so, because we've done the title thing with them before. So keep them both in Europe. I think that's also a big factor in these games, that both of those 2 teams stay in Europe, at least for a little while longer.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Big up to Amar, says broke United's 134 game record. I don't know if you guys have seen this, but they've not lost a game at which they were leading at half time, and obviously 134 games. That's wild.
It's a decade.
Is that how long it is? Yeah. Fucking hell. That's crazy. Big up for the donation. I want to speak about this. John's as a final topic. He obviously didn't play today, Jack Grealish, but I don't know about you guys, but I honestly feel that like if Jack Grealish would have played some of these games that we've kind of semi-struggled in this season, I think that we would have been a completely different team. And actually, there's been a lot of Jack Grealish hate or sometimes just debate about Grealish since he signed for the football club, even last year when we won the treble. But Si, I'll come to you on this. How important do you think Jack Grealish is going to be in this title running and obviously in the Champions League, providing we get back past Copenhagen? Because it does seem that like he's almost like the missing part of the jigsaw for this City team.
For me, he's essential. I think he's the difference for us, especially when it comes to big games. I think if we had him in the games against Tottenham, Chelsea, the Liverpool game at the Etihad, we would have won those games. I think we lost them or dropped points in them because we didn't have enough control. So having him back is going to be huge. Unfortunately, I don't think he will be back for the Anfield game, which was when he came back from the first groin injury. That was what I flagged him for, because they said 2 to 3 weeks. So that was perfect for the Anfield game. And then after 1 week, he was back in training, back in the squad. I was like, that's very quick.
It was quick.
And I think they risked him way too early. I mean, they could have gone about that way better. And now missing him in the Anfield game, that can be the difference. And I'm not joking. People are always criticizing Jack, but for me, he's so, and like I would maybe say he's like the 4th or 5th most important player on our team to make it all go around. So for me, he's huge, and hopefully he will come back and be able to get a good run of games, be back for semifinals and quarterfinals in the Champions League. And unfortunately, our hardest run in the league is now in the next month, and how many of those games he will play a part in, I'm not so sure, and that's sad because if we talked about Liverpool and Arsenal's,
I think he'll be back for Arsenal side. I think he's going to be
His
back for
DM's Arsenal. Yeah, sorry.
it's the same Arsenal. Okay,
I think
that's
so.
good. That's
Because
very good.
you got the international break, haven't you? And obviously the Brighton game has now been moved to an FA Cup game, which is against Newcastle. So he'll probably be back now for the Arsenal game, which is decent. So it's just in the league, it's just this Liverpool game that we need to get through without him, and then he'll be back.
Which is a shame because he would have been
Yes,
perfect.
yeah.
God,
So
yeah.
that game can if we lose that game, gaining 4 points on Liverpool, not playing them again, that's going to be a very tough task. So yeah, but if we get through that, I would be okay with that draw. I know you want to win there. I want to win there as well. Of course, that's not it. But I think we can do with a draw and then have Jack back. And I definitely think we will still win the league. I've never doubted that we'll win.
We can win the league without him. I'm not arsed. Honestly, I love him, but I'm not arsed that he's out. We can...
I'm loving this new mold, by the way.
Yeah,
it's rubbing off now.
I love him.
It.
He's great, but there's other options out there. You saw Bernardo out there, the left wing today. That was fine. Oscar Bob can play out there. Doku's dipped. His form has dipped, but yeah. I mean, missing Jack Grealish isn't going to stop us from winning the league. He hasn't been good enough. If you were going to tell me that treble winning Jack Grealish was coming back in, I'd be like, yeah, brilliant. But this season hasn't been near those levels, and Pep said that, and Jack will admit that. We've got other options out there, so not bothered.
Oh, sorry. No, I was just going to say with Grealish is, I agree this season, although when he's come back, the 2 games he's got injured in for the first 20, 30 minutes were probably the best 20, 30 minutes of the season when he was on. And then when he went off, okay, we smashed. It was Luton, wasn't it? He went off. Was it Luton? Yeah. So, okay, we smashed them anyway. But we looked so good in Copenhagen when he was on. In fact, that spell in Copenhagen was probably the best I think we've probably played all season long. He is absolutely key. But he'll be back, I think, for Arsenal, hopefully.
I think the problem with Jack is he's parting here. Parting his own head. And this is why I was so months ago on this let's calm on this Doku versus Grealish debate, and I want him and I want him, and players see all this, and we all knew it was going to go back to the squad, and Pep, it was even coming out in press conferences, and then he had the incident at Christmas. He's just had one of them seasons, and you could see the emotion pouring out of him at Luton on Tuesday.
Yeah,
it was like just broken, man. And it was one of them. I hope he gets back, because I think he's phenomenal. But gets them last few games in. Because listen, we're talking about March, April, May. We've got nice fixtures. The last 4 to 5 games are quite actually nice if we can get into a decent position.
Yeah.
So if we can get him back and just get him focused, but this is the time, I know it's a cliche, but it's hashtag together. It's not just a fancy cliche. That's when we work the best on and off the field. And I think we just got to cut players a little bit of slack. And I get, Doku, but Doku's 21. He's a young lad. And I think there was too much bought into this Doku. Go down the wing and spam crosses. It was never happening under Pep Guardiola. I don't know who people thought they were getting. It wasn't. I get it. Leroy Sané, everyone wants the regen Leroy back. I get it, but not under this Pep Guardiola team. It ain't happening. You're seeing Doku evolve, holding the play up, passing the ball back to the edge of the box. Saw it today. You had 3 men on him.
Exactly.
I just think we've got to change. Sometimes I know we want, as fans, we want to see the sexy football. Like I said to a guy behind me today, he went, "It's slow and boring." I went, "How long have you been here? We watched that football."
First time?
It's like, no, but he's been there for years with me. And I'm like, what are you watching?
This is how we won the treble.
Exactly. I'm like, why are you moaning now? Well, this is why we bought Doku. No. When did Pep come out and say, "I'm buying Doku to spam crosses"? It was never happening.
Yeah, Mulv, let me come back to you on the left wing situation. So who would you go for at left wing then against Liverpool?
I might be inclined to put Bernardo out there, and bring Kovacic into the middle. So I would go Rodri, Kovacic, De Bruyne. That'd be my midfield three. Then Bernardo, Haaland, and Foden. What do you reckon?
Not Foden on left wing, and Bernard on the right.
Yeah, could
Just
you do that?
'cause-
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
Yeah.
fine.
that's where
They'll all
Bernardo
move
been
around
playing.
anyway. So.
Yeah, as they did today.
Yeah,
when
Yeah.
Bernardo started on the left when they did the change with Alvarez, and then they switched and Foden went.
I think
to
I
the
think
left
adding one more
after.
ball carrier into the mix, which would be Kovacic, because of the way Liverpool
Yes.
play.
Yeah.
I think would be a smart move.
Agree with you completely. Kovacic is key. He plays, in my opinion, in midfield to help Rodri with the legs as well. Definitely.
And those
Yeah.
two can change as well. Nunes and Rodri can do this. One goes 6, one goes 8, or can go as 2 6s and one. And I love it the way them two are just so interchangeable.
Yeah.
And you would have
Brilliant.
Stones as well now.
Yeah,
With-
and you
within
get
those
the-
two,
yeah.
so you
Rodri
have-
thinks he's Yaya Toure
point.
at this point.
Yeah.
I am loving it.
Yeah.
I'm
I
loving
like-
this new Rodri.
He's playing like him as well. Yeah, no, I am more open to the idea of having Kovacic in against Liverpool. I think that's probably a smart move just to get even more control of that midfield. Because I still think we can dominate that midfield. The thing for me is, will we create enough? Because in the game at home against Liverpool, we didn't create too much. Albeit Kevin De Bruyne wasn't in there. But listen, I think it's going to be a tight game that Liverpool won. I don't think it's going to be like today where we could have scored 5 or 6. I think it's one that we're going to have to go there. We're going to have to box clever. Yeah, we're going to have to be careful on the counter attacks because they're probably going to play Nunes. I mean, if I was Jurgen Klopp now, I'd be looking at Nunes saying, "You're doing what Rashford done today, and you'll play centrally, and we'll play balls in behind. Yeah, and you've got to chase them because City will push up and we'll absorb pressure. So we've got to box clever in that regard, and we've got to be super clinical. We have to be super clinical because I do think chances are going to be at a premium against them because they're a good side. And you're at Anfield, you're not going to go there and smack them for 5 or 6, are you? So, just quickly before we end, you went Bernardo and Foden. I'm going to go around the panel and get your wingers then for the Liverpool game. So, Sai, what would your wingers be against Liverpool, man?
I'll do Foden on the left and Bernardo on the right, allowing Kovacic in the middle.
Yeah, okay. I'd probably go for that as well. Martin, what would you go for?
Yeah, regret really through gritted teeth because I hate Foden on the wing. But the thing is, they're not wingers, are they? Yeah, probably the same because you can even swap them over like Pep did today.
Mm-hmm.
So it's interchangeable.
Tone, what would you do?
Exact same. Like the lad said as well, they all interchange, switch over. De Bruyne goes all over the shop. Yep, exact same as the other guys.
Nobbins?
Foden / De Bruyne on the right / right central midfield interchanging. Mateus Nunes on the left, so he can help defensively with Mo Salah on Ake, who will need some support. That's also a very good ball carrier out the wide, and we've seen how good he can be against Bournemouth and Luton on the left. So, and also provides a bit of physical security and calmness on the ball. So I'd go for Nunes, and then in the middle, as I say, Bernardo in the middle, and then De Bruyne, Foden interchanging.
Okay, interesting. You've had because the thing is, I was thinking about Nunes, and I'm just kind of like that Foden Bernardo is so secure. And we've done that so many times. We know it works. And listen, I say that, Nunes looks all right on that left-hand side, but it's early days. He's only played it like once, so is it too soon? But yeah, it's going to be an interesting one, and I'm sure, obviously, people will be discussing the defense as well, who plays in there. Big up to LB, says Porto are 3-0 up against Benfica. Wow, they are flying at the moment. Big up to LB for the super chat. But listen, I'm going to wrap it up. Thank you very much for you guys for joining the panel. Big up to Sai, first time we've done a stream, man. Hopefully we'll do a lot more together. Big up to Move. You know where to find him at Noisy Pod, Mancunian Way. Martin's just done a show, so if you want to watch some more stuff on the City game today, you can go check that out, Mancunian Way. Big up to Tone. Hopefully we'll have a show this week. I'll see if we can get something confirmed. And Nobbins has also done a show, and hopefully we'll have an Elbins this week as well. So guys, thank you very much for tuning in. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, As always, smash a like, subscribe to the channel as well if you're new. All the links for these guys are in the description and on my Twitter post. I'll catch you guys in the next one. See you later.